Hello everyone, it's time for another episode of Retro Wars. As you can tell, we're still going on through the Fatal Fury movies, but this will be the last one. But before we do, I'm Justin VA, the main leader of the Retro Wars, the guy who does Bionicle Elite Fighter stuff. And with me are my usual comrades in arms of retro cartooning. Go ahead and introduce yourselves, you two.
Hey everyone! Your favorite crosser, Fnatic here, the wild card of the group, your all-around randomness person. Me!
You couldn't come with a better word than person. I see how it is.
Fuck off!
Anyway,
I can't do it.
Do better.
This is Hazard of Chaos. You already know who I am. Sarcastic bastard, the researcher, and apparently the brains. Don't ask how. But anywho, excuse me if my voice has fucked up, but I'm basically doing cold.
Yeah, we would have gotten the recording done for you guys, but lately we've been coming down with some illness, sore throats and colds and shit, but...
And being a woman.
Well, that's you, mostly.
Hey!
You know he's not wrong. Don't even start.
And if you guys haven't already, we're on this. This is the last movie thing so far. Though we've been working hard at this. We even had to re-review this one because it's been a while. Today we'll be reviewing the last Fatal Fury movie. Fatal Fury, the motion picture.
Yep, and honestly, a very enjoyable series so far.
Yeah. But near the end, near the end of this review, we'll talk about all three movies together and stuff like that, like our personal likes of which one of the three movies we like. But for now, we'll focus on this one. But yeah, last movie of the trio. And if you guys haven't already, be sure to check out what we reviewed: Fatal Fury, the first, The Legend of the Hungry Wolf, and Fatal Fury, the New Battle, or New Battle.
Right.
New battle.
My brain's all over the place. But, yeah. So, basically, this is taking place after the whole incident in Fatal Fury, the New Battle, with Terry's battle against Krauser. And let's just say this intro starts off a little different like the others, as usual.
In this case, this actually revolves around, what was it? Right. This actually revolves around, apparently an ancient suit of armor. And essentially there's someone who's out trying to obtain this armor because he wants to become a god. That's someone named Laucorn.
People acting high and mighty with godhoods. Mind you of anyone, people? Maybe of a certain, pink-haired and green elf man trying to destroy places, becoming god. So the movie starts off with basically, from what we could tell, was like some kind of excavating or archaeology. That's the word I'm looking for. Archaeology-like type things going on where they were digging up a piece of, well, what Hazard says was a piece of an armor of a god, like armor of Mars, the god of war. Yeah, the Roman god of war, not Kratos one.
Like someone named Godimus, apparently. Well, we'll get more into that a little bit later.
Right. But, soon enough, things went to hell, some goons appeared, but very powerful goons at that.
They're basically, a female water-using assassin named Hani, I guess one could say a little bit like Vega personality-wise, Hauer, who was apparently supposed to be almost as skilled as Wolfgang Krauser. Yikes.
Yeah, and from the looks of it, what I can tell from watching the movie, he has similarity abilities controlled to the element of wind. And lastly, the other dude, I forgot his name, Yaman, who has fire. And
here's the fun part about Yaman. He literally caught a bullet and fired it right back at someone's face with his fingers.
Yeah, if you're able, you must be that strong and you have good precision in your two fingers to be able to catch a bullet and fling it back at full strength of a bullet shot.
And for a human, that is pretty damn impressive.
Yeah. I'm sure there's other animes. I've seen an anime where that's possible, where someone caught an arrow with 2 fingers and flicked it back from a crossbow.
I can actually top one on that one. There was one anime I saw, I forget which one at the moment. There was one guy who caught literally 20 bullets in a single hand in less than 2 seconds.
Okay.
And no wounds, by the way. Like, literally caught them all between his fingers.
Back on track. Things kind of got into hell with all these 3, and then Loudcorn showed up in the end, basically claiming the armor piece from this dude who tried to fight back. Copes.
Shang Tsing's on, if I remember correctly.
The archaeologist, yeah, Shang Tsing. Shoutouts to him, I guess, but soon enough, that didn't end so well, and with another piece of armor that's on him, though it looks a bit technology-like-wise for armor, but I digress.
Mm-hmm.
And soon enough, this clears off, and Terry shouts, and they do this classic Terry thing, and then the title screen pops up. Next, it takes us to Japan, I believe, where we actually watch some familiar faces appear. Starting off with Joe Higashi.
Yep, that tough son of a bitch that just don't know when to quit.
Because we come across him entering what looks to be a kickboxing tournament where he was facing against Huajai or something. Huajai. And for those who want to know a fun fact about the gaming lore about him, Huajai was a vicious Muay Thai martial arts master, and in most of the games he would even drink alcohol to make him even more vicious. So basically, combine the drunken fist style along with Muay Thai and you get a very dangerous motherfucker. After that, up in the crowd we saw 2 other familiar faces, Mai Shiranui and Andy Bogard. But soon enough, they were at what looks like to be a hotel party.
Yeah,
celebrating Joe's win. And having a little party afterwards while they were also waiting for Terry to show up. But where was Terry? Doing something I would do when I first come to Japan. Play at the Neo Geo Land arcade. I won't even lie, that's my first stop when it comes to Japan. Going right to the fucking arcade.
You mean like the Sega card Yakuza if you could?
Fuck yeah, I would. Terry bumped into a new face on the scene who happens to be important to this plot of the series.
Celia Gaudamus.
Celia Gaudamus, for those who want to know the fun fact, she is actually the sister of the main villain of this movie.
Yep.
Plot twist, I know.
Oh,
but
yeah.
We'll get into reasons. And y'all may be thinking why she's not working with her brother. We'll get into that later on for the review. Some goons came in and, well, looks like they were after her. And soon enough, Terry just, you know what Terry does, kick ass.
Yep. Also helps that she's not exactly helpless, but sad thing is she's no martial arts expert either.
No, she isn't. Soon enough, I don't know how, but everybody was in the backyard of the party where they run into another familiar face, Kim Kafwan, the Muay Thai martial arts dude that Terry fought in the second movie, and never appeared again.
Promptly beat the shit out of.
Yeah. Let's be honest, but not only did Kim came along, he came along with his wife and 2 kids. I forgot his wife's name, but I do remember his kids, Jae-hoon and Dong Hwang. I'm not joking. You
mentioned his wife's name in the movie, did they? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
I don't think they did.
Soon enough, everyone was getting along, but everybody was wondering where the fuck was Terry. But somehow, without not being noticed or some shit, because he's not really dressed like people at the party. He's kind of really out there. He was just at the food buffet having some food and making a dramatic entrance, apparently.
And he was just right there, like he just slipped in like a ninja.
I'm just here for the free food. I'm just here for the free food.
And he's not even dressed like a ninja. He's wearing his freaking same outfit for the first 3 movies. And if you guys wondered, is that his generic outfit? Yes it is.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's his trademark outfit.
Yeah, he just slipped in. Nobody apparently noticed he was there until he said something.
And nobody bothered to ask questions.
Because apparently, why not?
But soon enough, as soon as the reunion was going on, everybody was having a good time, but then you know how parties go. Always a big old party crash.
Uh-huh. Big dude comes in, beats apparently one of the party guests either half to death or completely dead. Hard to tell.
I would say completely dead because the way he was holding up his head was not moving at all, and he was just like limp as dead. But another one of the party guests come in. Can't tell if he's dead or not, but yeah. But normally Joe or Terry would have come in, but no, Kim made his move. And well, aside from a weird epic anime clothes ripping where he just goes into his taekwondo outfit, don't know how that works, but okay.
It's anime logic.
Pretty much, it's like DBZ in a nutshell.
You're not
But anywho, basically after that, Kim does go in fighting, but he didn't start off so well.
Yeah, he was getting wrecked.
Yeah, he basically got his ass beat. Hell, even his back of his head was bashed against a glass wall, which could be pretty painful on the skull if his blood was dragged down with it.
But then at the last second,
yeah, it's it always amazes me what motivates a person to keep on fighting, because somehow when his son cheered on for his father, Kim just fucking kicked ass.
just goes to show he loves his family that much. Apparently, the person who's been attacking the party was eventually revealed to be apparently a hypnotized Big Bear.
Actually, no, that was not Big Bear. That would be the big
Shang,
dude who got. Yeah, the archaeologist.
Big Bear got knocked the fuck out by that guy earlier.
Yeah, he was a big dude with a weird yellow haircut.
Yeah. And then Suya shows up and basically
starts explaining the story.
Pretty much.
Funny enough, the reason she was only showing up, she was actually looking for Terry Bogard. That's right, she bumped into him in an arcade. She was looking for the man with the name Terry Bogard, but she don't even know what he looks like.
10 out of 10, Suya.
So she could have picked up any random person and just said, that's Terry Bogard, and then bam, he would have been dead in a minute.
Yep.
Yeah.
But let's be lucky that plot didn't let that happen, shall we?
Yes. And apparently,
soon
from what
enough,
Celia said, she'd been looking for Terry since the fight with Krauser happened.
Again, it's these type of things that drive me crazy because it's never really fully explained how this type of rumors go around, you know? But soon enough, as soon as she's seeking help, the others are willing to help out, and she really appreciates the help. Because what they're gonna go up against, oh boy, it's not a pretty picture at all.
Yep.
But, as has been mentioned earlier, this shows what she is capable of. Basically, on their way to, I can't remember what place, but they were going to some cave ruins where they,
if I remember correctly.
That's probably right, where they were going to talk about. Well, it's not that I don't pay attention. It's hard to remember when I'm sick.
Yeah, I know.
But basically, once they got there, they're basically talking about some of the ancient armor that her brother was seeking, and how basically when they were explaining. Also, don't mind Joe wearing a Speedo. I don't know why.
I don't want to know why.
But anyway, soon enough, a cave-in came in, and a rock hit like Terry's shoulder or arm, I believe. And how does that help? She basically heals him.
Yep. Her main abilities are healing and a psychic link.
With her own brother.
Yep,
mostly.
And of course it doesn't help matters that
her brother has that same psychic link.
It's pretty clear from the get-go, Julia is crazy about Terry.
I drive him crazy. Have my baby.
No! None of that! Shame on you!
If I don't know how, she just met the guy. But then again, I can't really say much after the whole fucking Lily kiss scene. After what, this one day? But anyway, aside from weird romance stories, there. But yeah, she has the healing ability, and preferably the normal type of healing ability that's not too disgusting, like using saliva like Steven would.
Hey!
But I digress.
There are weirder ways to heal from someone.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get into the
But
weird
they-
part
but-
later.
but
We're
they
gonna
were
get into that
fucking-
weird. Shut up. No, they weren't. Anyway, we're gonna get into that weird part later about healing. But soon enough they were basic. As soon as they head out their separate ways to look for the pieces of armor, let's just say some things got from weird. Mai and Andy went to one place, and Terry, Joe, and Celia, I think. It's hard to. I'm trying to remember how to pronounce her name.
Celia.
Celia. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All went to another. Basically, everything was going fine, though some questions were being asked, like, oh, having dinner around. For example, while they were on their road trips and stuff, having dinner at the table with Celia, Joe, and Terry, having a nice dinner conversation. Though it wasn't always like this, because early in the hotel room, a picture fell out of Terry's pocket, and who was that picture of? Why, Lily McGuire.
Yeah.
Terry's having trouble like that. Poor Terry. Still heartbroken about that day. But who can blame him?
Fault him though.
Not entirely. But, soon enough, Joe and Terry were having a little discussions, even though they were kind of eating a lot of food fast, like Dragon Ball Z style. But, yeah, basically the conversation goes from a little left field, like how Joe was asking, how come you're not going to enter tournaments to get a lot of money and shit like that? And Terry would just simply would respond with, can't buy love.
And he can't,
Which,
and can't guarantee you buying skill either, so there's that.
yeah, but you can't buy love, Joe. Which is true. But soon discussion out of left field where Celia was asking if Terry had a girlfriend, and he said no, and she asked what about the picture, and that's when it had turned into a very awkward dinner conversation, where Terry said she just died a while back. I can understand why he didn't explain the full story of how she died, probably because it hurts a lot to bring up the past.
And
But,
the award for the most awkward moment of the movie goes to Celia.
Yeah, it got very awkward. Just like, hey. Nothing says like an awkward conversation than bringing up a dead ex, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But, soon enough, Terry was in his hotel room. I can't remember which order it happens, but I think it happens before this. But, soon enough, when Terry was laying in his bed, he got a little visit from, well, his girlfriend herself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Lily paid him a visit
No.
in his dreams.
Yeah, she knew how he was having trouble to let go of the past and felt self-guilt about what happened still. She tried to help him, but yeah, Terry was just still upset about what happened. Not really at her, just mostly at himself.
Yeah.
And no, there was no weird... And no, it didn't end up in a kiss, I think.
Fuck.
Get over it, Crossy.
I think.
No.
How can he kiss a ghost? It'd be like that freaking Ghostbusters scene.
Want this body,
Is this a trick question?
sub-creature.
We never talk anymore.
Exactly.
Soon enough, Terry woke up with a knocking at his door, and who was it?
So,
No, that's Leo herself. Basically feeling bad about the conversation at dinner and just hugging him. And Terry promised to talk about it more and answer any questions she has. Well, at least the one important question from what we've seen is that Terry's single now, so that's a question she can erase off the bucket list.
But
Hey,
going
look.
further on, they decided
Celia's
to
a
hunt
bad
down-
guy.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Sorry, I just want to say, Celia is a bad guy. We're obsessed with Terry. We're just making jokes, people. Don't take these jokes if these are characters you like, don't take them too personally. We like to make light humor out of it.
Pretty much.
Anyway, back to what you were saying.
Basically, going forward from there, while they were searching for one of the armor pieces in the country of Turkey, well, actually, no, goes beyond that. Joe was eventually sent off to Baghdad to meet up with Andy and Mai for searching for one of the armor pieces. while in the case of Terry and Julia, they actually managed to jam it and escape, just barely.
Well, yeah, but before that happened, actually, and you maybe wonder why Joe left them and stuff. They actually found a little secret where one of the armored pieces may be, because they were at a library. Every person's worst nightmare if they don't like books.
I don't mind books.
Books are nice. But anyway,
Unless it's manga.
yeah, but moving on. They were actually looking up research while Joe was sleeping. Reminds me of Hazard when he's got too much information on the brain and tired out from looking up.
Shut up.
But if anything, that whole scene does remind me of Retro Warriors when we're trying to do work together. But anyway, they were finding the armor piece, looking for the armor piece, and funny enough, apparently they found out that one of the armor pieces is located at Wolfgang Krause's castle.
Of all the places.
Talk about... I like the little shout out to Fatal Fury 2. That's a nice one. But I'm surprised that castle is still even standing after that whole thing.
Well, it's not like they completely annihilated it, just sections of it were pretty much fucked up beyond repair.
That's true, but I'm surprised it's still holding up. I thought it would have been like torn down a few decades ago or something with its empty owner, but I digress. But soon enough, Joe did leave Terry and Julia behind to go tell Andy and Mai about the situation. Though those situations kind of got weird. Though aside from Joe being like a crossy asking what's the whole ship thing going on between you two.
Hey!
Wait, what now?
Tell me I'm wrong, dude. Remember how Joe was acting? Remember how Joe was acting like, saying like, how things would, you don't want to be a lone wolf forever to Terry and stuff when Julia was around?
Oh yeah, that.
That's why I was calling her a crossy.
Hey!
Well, he's not wrong.
Who said you won?
My own. Chaotic neutral, remember?
Chaotic neutral. But soon enough, people were doing their... Soon enough, Andy and Mai were doing their thing, and, well, there was, this scene might be heavily censored, or it might not be shown here. I am sorry, but if you want to see this uncensored, go watch the movie yourself. My nude shower scene. Yep, titties exposed and what? Lots of titties and what?
Pretty much.
Ass and titties.
Ass and titties. Yep. So Crossy might have to put a big old censor bar if she showed that shit up there, but or not. But soon enough, after the shower, Mai calmly tried to go into bed and try to see if Andy would join. And how does Andy escape that? By doing push-ups and said he was gonna sleep on the couch.
What you doing?
I was just thinking how the two of us can't sleep in the same bed.
It can't be helped. This was the only room, right?
Oh my god, do you need landing lights to the bed? She wants to sleep with you!
It's
That's one where
Mai is thirsty.
Yeah, but fellas, if you want to escape from having sex with a girl you're not fully committed to yet, just say you'll sleep on the couch. Zammy, if you're watching this, I apologize.
I feel like Jam's gonna kill you for that later.
Are you upset?
No, because I know how you're going to pay me back.
What are you...
Mai tries pretty damn hard to get Andy to, pay attention to her in more ways than one.
Yeah, she's not even, I don't think she's wearing anything under that bathrobe of hers either, so...
Even going as far as basically deciding to do a little bit of an erotic dance on stage in front of Andy at a club.
Yeah, but we'll get to that later. Basically, soon enough, as has mentioned a while back earlier, while Celia and Terry were on their way to Wolfgang Krause's castle, they were run into by Jammin.
Yep, and Jammin was one hell of an opponent. Terry was actually able to fight on even ground with him.
Yeah, though, his moves did overpower Terry when it comes to a power wave.
Oh yeah.
Though it wasn't easy though. Terry tried his best to hold up, and well, Julia basically threatened to get in Loudcorn's way. What kind of fucking name is Loudcorn, I swear.
Blame the
Unicorn.
parents who named them.
Anyway, soon enough, basically there was a big old energy blast between Terry's power geyser and Laucorn's strange energy blast that caused an explosion where Terry was injured, but Celia and Terry was able to escape without some major injuries, of course.
Yep, and while that was going on, guess who ends up at Krauser's castle? Tanny, one of Laucorn's only female henchmen. And of course, she fights and eventually beats the shit out of Lawrence Blood.
For those who don't know who Lawrence Blood is, he was the possible right-hand man of Wolfgang Krauser, who is still alive after their encounter with Andy and Mai. But
if I remember correctly, wasn't he in the second movie as well? He basically kidnapped Mai.
Yes, he was.
Okay.
She was putting up a good fight, and then later on, she got kidnapped, and Andy just beat Lance Blood in like, what, 3 fucking seconds?
Yeah. But going back to this movie...
Yeah, back to this movie. You remember how I said there were we talked about weirder healings? Yeah, she tried her healing powers, and it didn't work so well. So, how did she heal him? Full body contact by removing most of her clothing and laying on top of him. And what looks like to be an abandoned church area.
Pretty much.
She was basically in her bra underwear as she just laid on top of Terry, who was like jacket and shirtless from the looks of it. Thank God it didn't escalate weirder. Or she wasn't.
Yep.
But Krause called it fucking during the watching. I don't know how.
You are clearly thirsty for rosé.
Shut up.
No.
Anyway. But yeah, aside from that weird healing, Terry was actually having a bit of a nightmare because he was reoccurring Lily's death from his head.
With Tom Cruise's death as well.
Yeah, but soon enough, basically he imagined Gieshauer left behind him and stuff, and soon enough, when he looked back at his hands, he saw Sulia's dead body in his hands. Basically fearing if he did, when he did have feelings for her and stuff, he's just worried that history is going to repeat itself. Because, hence why Terry, I think, is mostly single most of these days. I think I could be wrong, because my lore is a little rusty. But anywho, but while this was going on, Andy and Joe was heading back to the castle as well. But before then, basically, Andy and Mai were heading to this disco dance club run by who was a participant in frickin' Hughes' old tournament from the first movie, Duck King. No, I'm not even joking. His name is Duck King.
Yeah.
D-U-C-K space K-I-N-G. Duck King. He's the king of ducks, apparently. And if you don't believe me, he believes himself as the Duck King. He has a fucking party blue float of a duck.
But yeah, moving on to that.
But while they were there, they were actually looking for Master Jubei, because he would know where the armor pieces is.
Thanks to the fact that Terry realized, oh wait, Kung must have known about the armor from the get-go. So why not ask somebody who knew what Kung was about to do?
That would be Master Jubei, because those two are close friends. And how did Annie first find Master Tongue? Surrounded by women, being a Master Roshi.
I think it means Jubei. Kung was dead.
Jubei. My mind is all over the place. But yeah. But Jubei was being a Master Roshi as usual. But he was able to get... No, I'm not. But what I'm surprised about was this next part. But after getting some information where the armor piece was, as has been mentioned earlier, Mai was on stage dancing just to get Annie's attention, and I got his attention all right, but I got everyone else in the club's attention.
Goddamn Mai.
But it wouldn't be some weird encounter if it wasn't for more familiar faces. One of them being Billy King, Gieshauer's right-hand man.
Yep. Who surprisingly decided to help out Andy when Howard showed up.
Yeah, funny enough, Billy was gonna fight Andy there, but he noticed something in the glass reflection, so he broke it, and Howard popped out.
Yeah.
Funny enough, he even flirted with Mai a bit.
How many times do I have to tell you I have a boyfriend?
Well, you look like the kind of girl that could use two.
And Mai come out saying why hide the mask and stuff, and then she did call, when he removed the mask, she did call him a man, but Andy's more of her type, apparently. Basically, he just got burned.
Rejected.
Yep. Anywho, back to what I was saying. But soon enough, it didn't really end into a big old fight brawl, but it just ended with him disappearing because he was mostly spying. But before we go back to the crew, Billy Kane basically came to report to Geese Howard, who was training, and as you can see, and the word again has us thinking, everyone at your age would die. Why won't you?
How'd you know what I was thinking?
Because I know you long enough, you goddamn putz. Anyway, basically, Geese is was doing training, and from doing his move, he's gotten a lot stronger than last time.
Which means that he's gonna eventually make a comeback.
Mm-hmm.
Also, before we forget, there is a little bit of backstory behind Sulia's past, specifically around her and Laukhorn. Apparently, the reason Laukhorn became so obsessed with getting the armor of Godimus was literally because of how, back when they were kids, a so-called trusted friend of their father decided to murder their dad in cold blood and almost killed Laukhorn.
Mm-hmm. So basically, yeah, that's basically what happened, and basically they can seek vengeance, and I think that armor is just mostly corrupting them.
It mostly was the armor at that point, because ever since once he kills the murderer with the gauntlet, the armor basically messed with Laukhorn's head, and because of that, now he has this uncontrollable urge to finish the armor and put it back together.
This is what happens when you get too much power, people. This is why you don't want to become a god, or you turn into that, or turn into freaking Rose or Zamasu. You end up worse. Soon enough, Terry was able to wake up, and soon enough, as soon as Terry and Sulia arrived to the Wolfgang Krause's castle, also Joe being there, the breastplate was gone. Breast. Anywho. But how things were going is they were having trouble finding the last piece, but there was still that one temple place to go. But as soon as Andy was getting the temple thing, and you wonder why Mai wasn't. She was there. Mai was there. Just women weren't allowed in the temple. I mean,
for some weird reason, I can't remember that if it was in the movie or not.
I don't know, but if anything, I wouldn't allow Mai near the temple. Have you seen the way she was dressed when she was there? Her fucking nipples were poking through that outfit. Goddamn.
You're not wrong.
That's kind of disrespectful, if you ask me.
Oh yeah.
But things didn't go so fine and dandy. Basically, what happened was, well, who else but what's his face again?
Howard.
Yeah, Howard.
He beat
Howard
the shit out
duck.
of both Andy and Mai, basically, and took the armor piece.
Yeah, and what made Andy really mad was it looked like he kissed her.
And
spoiler.
Andy tried. He almost succeeded, but Howard still beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, though if you're wondering, did he really kiss Mai? I'll just let Mai tell you.
I just pretended to let him kiss me. You don't think I'd actually let some stranger kiss these sweet red lips of mine? A modern ninja girl's got more control than that.
Okay, so why didn't you tell Andy that?
Oh, no. It's his turn to suffer for a while.
Just to get Andy's attention in order to pay back Andy for not giving her much attention. The life was on your danger and you wanted to play pretend?
Go pretend, CEO. Go pretend.
I said pretend, not pretend.
10 out of 10, Frosty. No.
Soon enough, everyone was in a bit of a pickle where the last armor piece could be. But soon enough, they basically gathered around to the twos once more, and Terry pointing out to the amulet on frickin' Sulia's necklace. Basic, or
while they were basically trying to figure out where the last piece was hidden, what happened was Terry and Joe got knocked out by poison or something.
Well, wait. Not that far yet. They knew the location for it, but here's what happened. Basically, when they were in the tomb thing, Joe basically punched the wall and it opened up a little secret panel where it would fit Sulia's necklace to show the location for that last piece.
A little convenient plot moment.
Pretty much. But soon enough, because of that whole psychic link between brother and sister, Laucorn knew too, but he couldn't get the last piece unless his sister was there because she had a piece on her. Apparently. Anyway, but they were all at a hotel. Basically, Andy was training because he was miffed. Very pissed off at what happened.
I wonder why.
And to think he didn't care. But, he's basically punching those trees a bit with some, what looks to be like weighted gloves. Punching them up. And Maya and Sulia, were basically talking at the pool while Andy and Terry and Joe were having some drinks and food. And basically, Sulia and Maya were talking about the whole love thing. And she basically noticed how Terry does like Sulia. Again, even though they only met for one day.
Well, apparently it must have been more than just a single day. Yeah, remember, they were traveling to multiple countries. So,
yeah,
there must have been a lot of shit going on off screen.
Don't give Crossy motivation now.
True. I'm just pointing out the logic here.
I don't think there was any logic to go from it, though.
Not where Terry's involved, no.
Not with his movie series, no. But anyway, back to what we were, as I was saying. Basically, things were going fine, though Terry and Joe passed out because Howard basically took the air from them somehow and made them pass out with a lack of fresh air, oxygen to breathe.
Well,
and soon enough,
wait, you said it was Howard who knocked them out?
Yes.
Well, to be fair, he has the power over wind and basically the air current, so that's probably child's play for him.
Yeah, so they passed out, and after a nice ass shot of her slapping her butt a bit, she was about to go up there and stuff. But soon enough, Howard
and Penny showed
up. Yep, and Janet Penny showed up, basically wanting to have Sulia to get her to her brother Laucorn. And soon enough, basically she threatened if they touched him, she would kill herself, so they let him go. Until she left, that is, because she was going to end up hurting Mai. Basically, Howard and Penny were left behind. But soon enough, who comes in to save the day? Andy.
While Jamin successfully grabbed Sulia, Howard and Penny weren't so fortunate. Andy beat the utter shit out of Howard as payback for, the ass kicking he got earlier. And Penny got the taste slapped out of her mouth by Mai.
She basically got burned alive from the looks of what Mai did.
Yeah, a flaming elbow to the chest will do that to you.
Yeah. But soon enough, followed by a nice sweet kiss moment between Andy and Mai. Everything seems to be everything she wanted.
I thought you said you weren't trying to motivate Crossy's shipping habit.
Well, they actually kissed, that's the thing.
Fair enough.
Basically, they were heading to the old temple where they were going to get the last piece and where Laucorn was going to be a god.
I'm a god!
A pathetic one on that. But anyway, soon enough, basically, soon as Terry and the friends show up, of course, there would be goons in the way, like usual. As Terry would go up, who would go in Terry's way? Johnnin.
And of course, with a little bit of effort, Terry beat Jamin.
Actually, if you paid attention to the scene right there, Johnnin actually let Terry win.
I know that, but it still took some effort on his part to be fair.
Yeah. Though Johnny knew what his rights was wrong because of how Loudcorn was acting and how he was been.
In short,
Basically,
Johnny had a conscience unlike the other two.
Pretty much, because they were just gonna kill regardless.
Well, to be fair, Penny showed a bit of a conscience herself, but ultimately decided to follow, what Loudcorn regardless. So she was just, sticking to her loyalty. Can't fault her for that.
No, I can't. Soon enough, basically, Terry was able to reach the area, but it seemed a bit little too late because Loudcorn got the powers he needed, and he was a god in his eyes. Even though his armored god suit looks a bit fucking ridiculous, if you ask me.
You're not wrong.
I see many armor-like gods, and that is not one of them, people. That is not an armor guard in my eyes. That just looks like a skin-tight suit.
It basically turned into a 4-on-1 fight between Loudcorn versus Andy, Joe, Mai, and Terry. But the fight's just not going well, to say the least.
No, they really put in their best efforts, but not many of them were so good as well. But soon enough, because of that whole second... But soon enough, things were getting worse and worse by the second, and Andy had to help Joe, and Mai actually had to help Andy because they remembered they were a team, because Terry would have died if it wasn't for Mai trying to help up in the last second.
Yep, that and Celia's interference actually was a bit of a godsend, no pun intended.
Basically, that whole psychic link between brother and sister, it's kind of very similar for this situation because...
It was super testing for Loudcorn's stupidity.
Mm-hmm. Basically, Celia stabbed herself in the arm to help Terry win the battle. Because apparently, like in Hellboy 2, that whole brother and sister thing is actually existing where if one of them feels pain, so does the other.
Which I find completely bullshit.
She says that because soon enough when Terry pulled Terry basically... Here's the thing, Loudcorn was going to actually kill his own sister since he got all the pieces. He didn't give a shit because he thought he would survive Osam Rising. Well, he did survive, but anyway, what happened was he basically was going to blow her up with an energy blast. Terry pulled a Piccolo standing in the way.
Only, unlike Piccolo, Terry survived.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z is racist to Namekians.
Yeah, you're
anyway.
not wrong.
Anywho, back to the movie. Soon enough, Terry was able to do a powerful Buster Wolf to break off the arm of Loudcorn because at Sulia's request, she didn't ask him to kill him. She just asked him to save him.
Yep.
And that's what.
Something that
and that's what Terry did.
Something that should be noted from what Celia says early on in the movie. If Loudcorn were to assemble the armor together, he would be risking being possessed by the power of Mars.
Which he kind of was, if you think about it, because soon enough after... Oh, and you're wondering how he was able to break through the armor piece? Celia stabbed herself in the chest.
Mm-hmm.
It was the only way. Which got Crossy more mad.
Pretty much. Crossy, to be fair, unlike the first movie, the second one had more of a purpose.
You mean third one?
Right.
Loudcorn did fill with regret as soon as the armor came off, realizing what he had done to his sister and everything. And soon enough, Terry was holding her in her arms. Celia was giving some parting goodbye words to them all, and Terry and Celia
also revealed
giving them a... Hang on a sec.
Okay.
Gave him the good old kissing that Crossy was happy about because nothing was blocking the scene that way that time. Frickin' smooch. But soon enough...
Let me have a moment.
No.
Yeah, you're... But soon enough, not everything was too peaceful because the armor started to mend into a big old fiery physical thing of like what might have been Mars or some shit.
What actually happened was when Terry broke the armor, it was turned into 4 coins, which then came alive and absorbed itself into the statue of Mars, making it, come to life. Because that's the thing, apparently.
This is why I don't mess with artificial, creepy, magical power bullshit artifacts. Because shit like this could happen. But anyway, they weren't sure how... But as soon as he was about to blast them again, Loudcorn got in the way. He got vaporized. And basically, they weren't sure how they're gonna handle this, but soon enough, Terry just had enough. He really had enough. He basically was glowing with like energy. I almost want to say Ultra Instinct bullshit magic going on here.
Actually, there was an explanation behind that too.
Yeah, okay.
Celia gave up the majority of her life force to Terry when she died. So there was actually an explanation behind that one.
Though it looked like Terry cried blood in the moment there, but soon enough, Terry was fighting with pure energy against pure energy. Well, energy against energy in a way.
Yep.
But because it was... So basically, in the end, it was the most epic battle you could see for going on between those things. And, well, you could say Terry killed a god in his way.
Yep.
Which is surprising.
Not like a wannabe god at that. Like, apparently an actual god. Is that the thing?
Yeah, it wasn't... Not like in a physical, like, form of him, just mostly like of energy of flames of a god, yeah. But, yeah, he killed a fucking god. Maybe you should take fucking notes, DBZ. Anyway.
Of course, what happened to Laucorn? Surprise! He actually sacrificed himself to save Mai.
Actually, I think I mentioned that earlier.
Did you? Oh well.
Yeah, I said Laucorn got vaporized earlier when he was trying to protect them all.
Yeah, but mainly because Mars decided just because I'm gonna target Mai, because fuck you.
I think it was Mai. I don't know. But
no,
either
it was
way,
Mai. That much I remember.
Yeah, but soon enough, the castle crumbling was going down, and soon enough, Terry just did his good old hat throw. Not saying an okay this time though, but he left and that ended the movie there.
Pretty much.
Abs and all.
Yep.
And that was Fatal Fury the motion picture.
Alright, so any favorite characters this time around?
Well, let's start with Crossy. Crossy?
I think you already know.
Yeah, Celia won't there.
It's Celia, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder why.
What about you, Hazard?
Honestly, Joe Higashi's still a favorite of mine, but I'm not gonna lie. I actually have to give him the top favorite this time to, surprisingly, Jammin. Because he showed a lot of character development, and he showed there was more to him than just being, you know, one of Laucorn's thugs. He actually, he actually had, like, you know, he had more of a conscience than the other two. So I actually have to give it to Jammin on this one this time.
I'm still sticking with Terry on this one because he just shows what full potential he has as a person and how he was able to pull in the end. But for least favorite characters, I think we could say a few. Like Laucorn's definitely one of them.
Yeah, nobody likes Laucorn.
Nobody likes corn.
But yeah, if it came down to favorite character overall, like, don't get me wrong, Joe Higashi is still one of my top 3 easily. But like I said, Jammin just takes it this time, with Terry being in third. Again, this is mostly because of the character development.
Yeah. But, I will say this movie has been fantastic and wonderful for all of it. So after reviewing all 3 Fatal Fury movies, Legend of the Hungry Wolf, A New Battle, and the motion picture, I think it's time to, as the usual question for the Fatal motion picture is, does it still hold up? Absolutely.
It may have been made in the early 90s, but it's still a kick-ass movie.
Yep.
Still hold up for us.
It's been almost.
But now
it's been almost like 30 years since the movie came out. Like roughly a good 25 to 30 years since the movie came out. It's still good.
So we watched all 3 movies, and y'all in the comments can participate in this if you watched the movies we reviewed. But out of the 3 movies we reviewed, which one's our favorite one we reviewed or watched so far?
That's a tough one, to be honest.
I'd say the first and third one.
If you had to pick one, which you're leaning more towards?
The third one.
Yeah, motion picture was great. But
That's
yeah,
a tough one for me.
Yeah, because The Hungry Wolf, The New Battle, and the motion picture, they're all great Fatal Fury movies.
I honestly am leaning towards the third one, but here's the thing. If it weren't for some of the scenes in the second one, I would have also been in favor of it as well. Like, okay, like here's what I'm saying. Like, for example, with the second movie, I loved it, basically, but that one kid in the second movie was kind of a detraction for me because he barely did anything of real importance. Like that kid Tony, he barely did anything of real importance, so that was a slight detraction for me on that one.
It's Tony.
But overall, I do enjoy the movies, but the first movie was definitely a winner for me as well. Honestly, the third one just barely wins out for me, just barely, because of the sheer character development and the continuity from all three movies.
Yep. For me, it's definitely the motion picture. I love them all. They're near to dear in my heart. But the motion picture just seems to take it from me.
Agreed.
But honestly, when I could rate the motion picture, I would say a 9 or a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10 because I enjoyed it to the fullest.
I would give it an 8.5 or 9 out of 10. Nothing like particularly wrong with it. It's just I feel like in some ways it could have been improved. Don't get me wrong, it's still a great movie, but I feel like there were some improvements that could have been made as well. I blame this largely on the fact that on how basically compared to most animation today, the animation, I'm not saying it sucked or anything, it's just that for its time was amazing.
Yeah.
But then again, I guess also some of the minor plot holes. Like, I'm a sucker for a good detailed story. So there's that.
Yeah.
They did do it beautifully though, so thinking about it again, I'd give it a 9 out of 10 for sure.
What about you, Crossy? What do you rate the motion picture?
A 9 out of 10.
Yeah, it's a really good movie all around, people. Like I said, this shit is on YouTube. Easily look it up. We could even leave you so wanted so you could watch it. But it's a really good movie. We recommend it. Just watch them in order so you don't get too confused, or watch them however you want, because if you know this first two already, then yeah, just watch it in order, which is Fatal Fury, Legend of the Hungry Wolf, Fatal Fury 2, The New Battle, and Fatal Fury, the motion picture. Yeah, this was our first movie review series of three movies for one character we were trying to give information about, which is Terry Bogard, because again, he's in Smash. This was a lot of work, we'll admit, but if you guys enjoyed us watching old retro movies, we could. But if anything, this is a little test in the waters. Let us know if you guys like this, reviewing the old retro movies along with the old cartoons as well. Because, yeah.
We basically have a lot to, like... We have a very long list. Thanks to not just us documenting this shit, but people sending us suggestions. Though, fair warning, guys, we can't really review anything Disney-related for, reasons.
We won't let those fuckers take this land!
And there's certain things we might be able to or not be able to review because of copyright, how most things could be. Depending, certain animes like that.
Like Dragon Ball Z.
We can't really review much in Dragon Ball anything because we're risking a copyright strike from Toei on that one, to be fair. Like, we do have plans on how we're going to handle Retro Warriors, and the way we're going about it, get patience, guys. We're trying our best to, get these done. But Go ahead.
Yeah, we're really trying our best, but it's not easy to binge watch a series without feeling too tired or getting notes on it. And not only that, sometimes we're very busy in our lives.
I've got my art commissions, Crossy's got her editing, Justin has work.
I have got work.
And all of that, I'm not only just doing commissions, I'm doing job hunting as well, so there's that.
Yeah, don't worry, this isn't the end of Retro Wars or anything.
It's just, look back there. Look at all these fucking games. I got plenty to work with.
And like like we've been saying for the last couple videos now, don't just take our word for it. Check it out for yourself. We also have a decent list of what we're planning to review going forward. We already have at least a decent, a set order of what shows we're going to review next, and what ones we're going to be doing down the line.
And we do plan to do a season 2 of Retro Warriors once we figured out with how many more we should do for season 1 of Retro Warriors here. But other than that, oh, and for those who wonder if we plan to have guests again, yes and no. It's not that we don't want to have guests, it's mostly if they wish to join us or if we do feel like asking them. But it's not, we shouldn't really ask them. The only way we do guests is if they want to ask us or if we're going to allow it, because we don't want to have guests every time we do a retro review.
Yeah, because then we're going to have people constantly demanding certain people to either just come in or just come back repeatedly, and it gets really old really quickly. And that's
like for example, if you ask, like if a bridge decides to do a retro review with us after binge watching and shit, and you guys want him back again and stuff, but we'd just be like, that's not the purpose of it. We're here to do reviews and shit.
That goes for anyone else that people suggest as guests, but we're not promising anything. Unless we make an exception, like, it's pretty much just going to be the 3 of us doing these reviews.
Pretty much. Majority of us 3 are mostly doing the work. We didn't want to have our guests do all the work.
Yeah, exactly. Because that wouldn't be fair.
No, we're trying to let them enjoy the shows with us. Anyway, but I think we've finished. We need to say what we say, unless there's anything you guys want to pitch in.
No, I'm good. I mean, not much else I can honestly say. I mean, like I said, I enjoyed the movies for what they were. And I'm glad we got all these topics out of the way.
Alright, guys. Well, if that's the case, I'm Justin VA, and these are my lovely 2 co-workers of Retro Warriors and Comrades at Arms and Cartoons. And this has been Retro Warriors, and we'll see you all next time on the Retro Warriors series. Say bye, guys.
Later, everybody.
See ya, peeps.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We're out for the next time on Retro Warriors.